Sanaya will say, "Brother, good to see you. Very nice suit."
Well, I didn't pick it out, so that's probably why.
Delwyn, you definitely, as you're walking around, you're definitely getting a lot of looks from people. Several girls are giving you a bit of a wink. You certainly are one of the more better-looking people in this room, and many of the congregation knows it. So, it is, as you guys are enjoying your drinks, Sanaya looks up towards the upper. So there's like, you see how the staircase goes up, and there's like this balcony-like looking thing. She walks over to you, leans in towards Delwyn, and says, "Brother, look up that way." She points up towards the balcony. Kane right now is... Well, first of all, the first person you see is Kane, and he's kind of just, watching the congregation. He has a drink in his hand, and he's sipping in it. It looks like he's sort of absorbing this as well. He has a very pleased grin on his face. Next to him, though, is a woman who is also watching the crowd, and she has the mark of the Tranquil on her head. You have spoken to this woman before, Delwyn. It's your mother.
Oh, it's awkward.
That's strange. He says out loud at nobody in particular.
What's strange?
My mother is here.
What? Where?
Nudges up there.
Huh?
What do you suppose she's doing here? Sanaya asks.
That's a good question I have no answer to.
I have no ideas.
It's at this point, by the way, that two more people emerge.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh god.
So Plim is wearing...
Come through.
So Plim is wearing his suit, and as for Vicious Vic, he is dressed with a lovely female hat, and he's got a large... I want to say dress, but it really is more of a muumuu. Which a muumuu is this big giant
He's
like
wearing
dress
that
of
thing in
sort.
like that Simpsons episode where Homer gets so fat he stays home. Yeah.
I was imagining that.
And the entire crowd kind of stops and looks towards their direction. And Vicious Vic says, "Oh no! I know that I am fabulously beautiful to look at, but no need for you to interrupt your festivities. Keep on going. Keep on with what you're doing."
I imagine everybody outside who is not as fancy enough to get in is probably kicking themselves that they allowed someone.
The guards kind of eye the two very suspiciously, and Plim goes over to one of them. He whispers something into one of the guards' ears. While he's whispering something, you kind of see Plim kind of offering the guard a little something something, behind the back there, and the guard nods, and they enter, and they join. They're gonna join Wade and Haran and the captain, but not for very long, because then Vicious Vic is gonna go to the bar. Stomps over. Several of the people get out of the way to allow him get to the bar.
What? I would have been really surprised if people fell for that.
And I thought my mother being here was weird.
Yes, that's what they say. It kind of seems dwarfed now. Oh, that was a poor choice of words.
Kane is going to move his way down the staircase. He is going to begin hobnobbing with a bunch of the guests over by the food.
The character catches eye and is like, "Please don't come over here, please don't come over here, please don't come over here."
As you guys are enjoying your food, You hear a few couple of ladies speaking on Orlesian passing by, and one of them says, "Did you see what Lady Dubois is wearing? Oh my goodness, the poor thing."
Just like home for better and plain common or worse. Well then.
You do know that Dubois is your last name, right, Gwenail?
Yeah, but he just figured that might he's not really paying any mind to that. I mean, it piqued his interest.
Okay. Very well. Continue as you were. What's happening now?
Actually, I probably would look around after that.
Roll a spot check.
Hmm?
Roll a spot check. Or a perception.
Okay.
Probably once you guys are finished eating, Jody is going to be tugging on Maximilian's arm and says...
Holy crap, I got a 20.
Okay.
And a punt. Apparently.
Jody will be tugging on Maximilian's arm and says, "Come on, Maximilian, let's go dance."
That sounds like a lovely idea, but there's something I need to do first. I'll be with you in a moment, alright?
Alright.
Yeah, he takes a sip of his brandy, then walks over to this table.
Uh-huh. You arrive and Nathan says, "Maximilian, good to see you. Join us."
Good to see you too. Derwin and Gwenail, good to see you both.
You
Hold
too.
that up, Paul. Yes.
Well, I'm pleased to see everyone here. I don't want to disturb Lee. He seems to have a good time over there. He raises his glass, his brandy. I'd just like to thank each and every one of you for being at my side in tough situations and making sure we got to where we are today. And that includes you, Galvin.
Really? Because I was about to say I might have created a few of those tough situations.
And I think we are stronger for it, at least for now. Consider this the last party before the final battle. No regrets, no hard feelings, whatever comes tomorrow. So, I'd like to raise this toast to Delwyn, one of the greatest warriors I've had the honor to fight beside.
To Delwyn, Nathan says.
To
Yeah,
tell
but you were sensing the sarcasm there.
To Delwyn, Sanaya says. And they drink the toast.
May you continue to fight well.
Person's drink.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I take the last of the brandy. I'm heading out to the dance floor. See you there. Then I walk over to Jody.
I say in
that's
Norwegian,
yes, I-
there's something I have to see. And then I look over at Darwin's like, I need to teach you Orlesian.
Oh.
You've missed too many of my quips.
I guess so.
Jody will ask Maximilian, "Are you ready?"
Well, as ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
She will lead you towards the dance floor. You guys will find a nice spot. Probably
Wow.
right over here. There you go. Maximilian,
Dancing?
that will probably be a dexterity check for you. Mhm.
I had worse rolls, I guess. Let's see. Here goes. Bam.
Oh! Wow, that's actually quite good.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit, it takes you a few seconds to get your bearing, but once you start feeling the beat of the music, you start to just let yourself go with it. And Jody seems very pleased and says, "My Maximilian, I didn't realize you were so light on your feet."
Well, you have to be in the flow of battle. This isn't so different.
That's very true, she says. I never thought about it that way.
Looking over, I am impressed. Anyways, I did make my roll, by the way. I got
Yes.
a 20. So
Gwenail, as you're watching the dance floor, your eye goes over towards the fountain. Right here, by the fountain, there is a woman in a red gown, and she looks strikingly familiar. If you didn't know any better, you would say that that was an older version of your mother.
drinking. My character raises his eyebrow real quickly and spits the drink back into the glass.
Nathan reacts, Gwenail, are you alright?
Nathan, I swear, it's my mum.
What? Nathan turns towards, to where you were looking at. He squints a little bit. By the Maker, I think you're right. What is she doing here?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be a type to come to this party. You could have reached out very far.
I'm guessing she's probably been in Kirkwall for a while, ever since things in Orlais had turned for the worst. Well, are you gonna go talk to her?
Yes, but I don't know. I'm trying to. We haven't seen each other for what before was like a decade. Now it's been 30 years.
Yeah.
Half a decade. Yeah. It's been like 25 years now.
I'm assuming it'll probably be a bit of a shock for her.
Yes. All right. I can't go.
What do you mean you can't go?
You were around. Well, like almost before we lost our, like, before our family was hurt.
Yes.
And every time I saw even before I left, I always felt a little bit sad seeing her. So different. And now after 25 years of not seeing her after so much has happened, I guess I just kind of want to try to keep on thinking of her as I remember her. I don't want to go over there alone.
I definitely can come with. Like I said, I saw her relatively recently, so it's not going to be as weird for her seeing me.
Yes. Delwyn, you will come too, right?
I guess. This is really weird, but...
Good, because that wasn't really a question.
Sanaya leans into Delwyn and she says, the fountain is moving towards our mother as well.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that can't be worse than the first time, so... might as well.
Let us go visit, our mummies, then.
Didn't see this coming, Sanaya says. Alright,
Nope.
brother, shall we?
I guess so.
They will move up. When you approach Lady Dubois, she will not notice you at first, but her eyes will look up and she will notice Nathan, and she will say, "Nathan, what a pleasant surprise! I didn't expect to see you here." And then she looks at the rest of the group and she turns to Gwenail, and then this sudden look of shock goes through her face. She drops the glass that she was holding onto. It shatters on the floor, and then she faints and collapses on the ground.
Mommy!
The guards and the gentleman that she was speaking to tries to revive her.
I go, like move up to her and sort that, and it's like, Mummy.
She's starting to come to, and she's the room seems to be clearing up for her again, and she says, "Oh Maker, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. For the moment there, I thought I saw." She gasps, "Gwenaëlle! How can this be?"
Mum.
It's a long story, Mum. Nathan says.
It is indeed a long story. I just can't believe the chances that you are here.
She says, "Well, of course I'm here, my dear boy. I couldn't stay in Orlais. Oh, goodness, our beautiful home. And to think," she says, "I had just hired that very handsome gardener to work on our topiaries."
Slightly sad inside, to the eyes. I'm very sorry, Mum, about your loss. That homestay. It's just, I'm glad you're safe. It's been a very long time. I'm purposely kind of slipping back to my actual accent here because I imagine he speaks a lot more Ferelden
Yeah.
when he's speaking to his mother. So
Yes. Oh, Gwenaëlle, it's been awful here. The conditions here in Ferelden. I was just telling Sir Reynolds over here about the types of the ways that we have to live now. Oh, this blight! I am so excited that the hero Ferelden is finally going to be saving us all from this horrible, catastrophic event.
yes, it is a blessing from the Maker. Yes.
You're looking very well yourself, son, she says. I'm very impressed. But I still question whether or not you've been eating enough.
I have been eating as much as I need to, Mummy.
She finally gets helped up to her feet. And she says, I'm alright, I'm alright. Oh, well, Gwenaëlle, this is such a pleasant surprise. How long, where are you staying? Maybe you can stay with me while we wait for the countdown for the world to be saved. It's like what? Is this like New Year's Eve? Like what?
Really?
What?
I would love to visit you at some point, Mum, but I will be very busy during the closing of the event to end the blight.
Oh, you're involved with this as well?
Yes.
I am so... she says, to think... Oh, I'm so proud, she says. At first, I was absolutely devastated when they took you away from me to the circle, but it's sounding like you ended up just where you needed to be.
His expression changes a little bit and stuff. He's like, yes, I suppose I did. Didn't I?
And Nathan, she says, I'm so glad that you were able to find Gwenaëlle. You know, Nathan has been talking about searching for you for the longest time. I suppose I have him to thank for finding you in one piece? Nathan says, Gwenaëlle actually has been able to keep himself, he has been able to keep himself out of trouble quite well.
Little smile at Nathan. So, I really hate to bring this up. When did you come here? Was it after... was it after Father?
Her face looks very disappointed, and she says, oh yes, I'm so sorry. I'm assuming that Nathan has told you. Your father, the Darkspawn had started, as you heard, had started to attack towards the west of Thedas, and eventually made their way over to Orlesian territory. Your father helped with the fight. Fortunately, during the initial attack, he did not make it.
Looks side down. Well, in the end, at least you're safe. I'd hate to have lost everyone.
Out of the corner of your eye, Gwenail, you suddenly see Archer moving towards your direction. He's got a very angry look on his face, and he's stomping his way towards you.
Oops.
Cogs is following behind him. What's going on, Archer? Where are you going?
Oh dear.
He walks right up to Lady Dubois, and his face is red. He looks ticked, very ticked. Lady Dubois doesn't notice Archer approach because she's still talking to you.
Mum, apparently I think you know Archer?
Your mother turns towards the sides, and she sees Archer, and at first she says, "I don't believe so. Who are you, dear? I don't think we've actually met." Archer starts fuming when she says that she doesn't even remember him.
Gwenail goes, he was known as Arthur, before, I believe? Arthur?
Oh dear, she says. Oh my goodness, child. She turns towards Arthur and says, I'm so sorry, she says. I know that my husband did some awful things. Things that I don't think that truly is a taint to the Dubois family history. I hope you know that I did not personally condone his actions. I don't think that he knew exactly what he was doing. I've told you this before, not that it helps you now, my child, but it's not a good enough excuse. I'm sorry. I can't turn back the clock. I can't change things and fix what has already happened. I understand that look that you give me, my child. If there's anything that I can do, she says, I have a little bit of money left over, and maybe I could, at this point, Archer holds up his hand as if to say, I don't want your money.
My character is just a little bit happy right now, so that he sees still a bit something of his honorable mother still in there.
She says, if you don't want my money, she says, I don't know what I can offer you as compensation for the way that you were treated. You were such a sweet boy, I remember. And I just can't imagine what life must have been for you. Archer seems to, he looks down at the floor, and the color in his face starts to dissipate a little bit. He still seems really ticked, but Archer's not an unreasonable young man. And she says, if you want to, well, write down anything you wish to say to me, I will gladly read it. Archer looks towards Gwenail, and he sighs, and he looks back at the lady, and he nods. Well then, she says, why don't we just step over here at the tables where you can be comfortable, and we can try to sort whatever we can out. At this, she turns towards to Gwenail, and she says, son, I suppose we will see you in a little bit later then.
Yeah, We'll catch up again in a few moments. Mummy.
Jody and Maximilian, while this is happening,
Yep.
Plim actually will approach the two of you, and he looks a little troubled, and he goes over to Jody and Maximilian and says, do you mind if I cut in?
He's saying that to me?
I mean, he's saying that to the two of you. Do you mind if I cut in? And Jody says, I don't mind. Oh, okay, good. And
Sure.
to Jody's surprise, Plim inserts himself between her and you. And Jody says, oh, well, all right. I'll go over there and talk to the captain.
How about you get me another brandy?
Certainly,
Jody?
dear. And she'll go over to the bar. Plim doesn't take your hand or anything. He's just, dancing with you. So, Maxie, I've got some trouble.
What? You're surprised I got a girl at a party and not you? Well, better live with it.
No, it's not that. My ex is here.
Oh,
My, ex-wife is here.
oh. Did he ever tell me about...
Nope. He never did.
Oh, well, your ex-wife. Is she with someone?
I don't know. I didn't really stick around to check.
Well, it's now or never, I say.
No, that's not a good idea. You don't understand.
Wait. Am I giving you advice on going forward when it comes to women? Because this is strange to me.
Well,
What's
you
going on
see,
here?
it's a little complicated, and it's a long story, and I kind
Well, you
of...
can make all the excuses you want. I'd say, if you only lived one more day, what would you do?
I would want her to be happy. And to be quite honest, I think the best way to do that is to stay away. He sort of stops dancing.
What's going on here, Plim?
Maybe I should explain it. I hate doing this, because it's a party and everything, but yeah, maybe
Hey.
we should talk.
You can always talk to me, my friend, as I grab him over his shoulder.
Let's
Come.
let's go talk. He'll take you over to a table. All right, he puts his hands down on the table. So I wasn't really sure I was gonna say anything to you because you're you, and you're probably gonna say things that are gonna be really hurtful to me. Cause
Alright.
long story
Well,
short, go ahead.
I said to Dalvin that this is a night where I can probably forgive everything. It's the day before battle, as I used to say. The day before things get really serious, and if you want to say something, now is the time. Basically.
Why does this make me think of The Godfather now?
So, years ago, I found someone. She was different, Not like any of the other girls that I've been with. She was something about her. You know what I'm talking about, Maximilian.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Anyway, we fell in love. We got married. We were going to build a future together. I never thought I would see myself doing this with someone, and yet she was able to. She was everything. She She brought out the best in me. And what did I end up doing? I ended up bringing the worst of myself to her. See, when the blights started appearing, I sort of tried to join up to fight them back, you see?
Yeah?
I ended up in the Brazilian forest, you know, trying to see if I could get some aid from the Dalish. And that was when I got infected. We were only
I
married
remember.
for a couple of years. We were trying to have a kid. And because of my condition, I couldn't see her. Not like that. Fortunately, the Lady of the Forest found me, and she was able to help me cope with my primal nature. This curse. I mean, I may seem like I'm in control now, but back then, oh, it was a nightmare from which I thought I would never end. I started growing impatient, though. I felt that I was getting better. I felt like I got control over what my condition was, and I asked the lady if I could leave and return back to see my wife again, because I missed her. Not a morning, not a day, not a night went by without me thinking about her and how she was doing. The lady warned me. She said that I wasn't ready. She said I wasn't completely in control yet, but I went and left anyway. Anyway, I made my way over to our house and saw her with somebody else.
I see.
Something came over me that day, Maximilian. It wasn't me. It was the beast. I couldn't handle it. I was upset. I was distraught, and so my better instinct got over me, and well, you can probably put two and two together, but she was still alive, but I wish I could say the same thing for the other guy.
Oh, please.
She called me a monster, Maximilian. She said she never wanted to see me again, and I gave her what she wanted. The more I think about it, though, the more I wonder, is it better for me to just leave her alone? I need to do what would make her happier, and I feel like what would make her happier if I just let her be and continue her life. What do you think, buddy?
First of all, thank you for trusting me with this little story. I can't say I agree with you. And if it was any other time, I might have taken action against you. You know this.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes we have to let go of the things we love most for the sake of them or others. I know I'm about to do the same.
Oh, Maxie. I didn't even think about that either.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a happy ending, but it's not for the likes of us. I raise my glass. For happy endings.
For happy endings, buddy. I have to say, though, with all that I've gone through, I'm really glad that you and I are still best friends.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But it hurts though. You know, leaving tomorrow. I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. Is this world just gonna vanish? Is it gonna change because we do something in the past, or is it gonna stay the same? And And I'm just gonna leave Jody behind?
Yeah.
It's... I mean, I'm taking a lot of hits in battle, but that hurts more than anything else I've ever experienced. I mean, I'm masking it pretty well, because I want this night to be good for her, but... It's... I don't know what to do, Liam. Just like you, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of unknowns. I wish I had the answers for you this time, buddy. As much advice as I can give you, this is something that I can't. You're gonna have to make your own choice in the end.
I guess so. You know what the fun part is? It's... I never felt more alive than I do now. In this grim, dark world.
Yeah.
Going back... I'm just gonna be another guardsman. She won't even know me. She'd probably be all lovey-dovey over that Gwinnale. And I'm just gonna be some strange old man.
Well?
I think I need another drink.
Chin up, Maximilian. Focus on finishing what you started. And then after that, you can build off of what you ended.
Huh, that's strangely poetic, coming from you. I like it.
I can be able to pull that out every now and then.
I guess you have to have some smooth moves to get all the ladies. Sorry I doubted you.
Yes, well. To the future, whatever it brings us.
Absolutely. Now, if you excuse me, I need to give my lady a really good time. That's not a word.
You go
I need to
do.
go in.
He gives you a big grin and says, "You go do it, Maxie."
Yeah. I give him a pat on the shoulder as I move past him. And...
If any of you guys haven't noticed, the theme of this ball, the reason this ball is here, is to tie up loose ends. Lots of loose ends to tie up. So, meanwhile, Delwyn and Sanaya. I'm assuming Sanaya is now making her way up the stairs.
I would ask if you want me to come with.
Yeah.
Alright.
You think it would get easier the more you do it, but no.
It's never easy talking to Tranquils. My character would know.
No, it's not.
Your mother turns towards you as you guys approach closer, and the Tranquil says, "Oh, this is a surprise. Both of my offspring are here, in one room." "Yes, Mother," Sanaya says. "You look lovely tonight." The Tranquil says, "Thank you." Sanaya turns to Delwyn. So, Delwyn and I wanted to talk to you about something. Delwyn, isn't that right?
Yes?
Did you get my earrings, my offspring? She asked Delwyn.
He kind of brushes some of the hair out of his face. I did, yes.
I trust that you have been able to put it to good use.
Of course.
Who did you give the other earring to?
Maximilian has the other one right
Has the other
now.
one right now.
Did he take that off? And like give it back to you?
I probably don't have it on me now.
Yeah, I thought he gave it back to you.
So does Delwyn still have the other earring? Does he have both right now?
Maximilian probably gave it back on the way back to the ship.
Okay, so you have both right now.
Yeah.
The Tranquil says, I hope that all of you are enjoying the party. The champion of Kirkwall says that he has very high hopes for what is to come soon. Sanaya says, yes, Cain is in very high spirits indeed, Mother. We just wanted to let you know, Mother, that Delwyn and I, we're okay. That we're going to be okay. And our family is okay. The Tranquil simply nods. I know you understand that, Sanaya says, but we just wanted to be together at least one last time. The mother says, I understand. The last we spoke, you told me that we would probably never see each other again because you were going down into the deep roads. Sanaya says, yes. And depending on what happens, I might end up having to go back there again.
Whew, hopefully not.
Is there anything else you wanted to say, Delwyn? Sanaya says.
Well, I've already apologized. There's not much more to say other than that. Hopefully, things get set right.
Yeah. Mother, I have one more question, Sanaya asks. Certainly, my offspring. Sanaya asks. Do you ever think about Father? The Tranquil responds, yes, from time to time. Your father has helped to raise you, and because you are of my offspring, I am very, I believe that is a very important thing for him to do, just as I have done so as well. I know the answer to this question, Sanaya says. I know that you don't necessarily miss him, but I guess I do get comfort in knowing that you do think about him from time to time. There are certain things that I see that remind me of your father, yes. And at those times, I do think about him. And when I do, I am content. Because Tranquil are always content. But Sanaya gives the mother a big smile, and then she goes and gives her a hug. The Tranquil family group hug.
Yay.
And the Tranquil, trying not to be as awkward as possible, returns it. Is there anything else going on at the ball, by the way, that I need to know about before I move on and continue?
I'm probably going to have a chat with Lee as well, yes, about camaraderie and stuff like that. It's just back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, I think the whole group is probably going to congregate together, just chatting, talking, mingling, doing all that good stuff.
All the cool kids come together.
Yes. Yes, and Vicious Vic is trying to decide where he fits in the whole grand scheme of it.
Sorry. Oh,
It's at this point where the narrator is going to say, "The threat has united them. You will lead them." As the Inquisition music starts to play. It is at this moment that Cain approaches the group and says, and here we are, he says. My fellow assistants, he says.
Right.
Sort of moves himself into the center of everybody. Just kind of pushes himself to the center. Oh yes, we have him right where we want him. We have him surrounded.
Get him!
Stop giving a piece of your mind.
So, my friends,
this would be the
Cain
best
says,
day ever.
are you enjoying the festivities? I must say I'm very pleased myself. Ren and Wade are actually not congregated. They're actually off enjoying the food at the moment.
Yes, we're enjoying it very much. Thank you for your hospitality, champion.
So, he says, I've got a bunch of people who have mentioned to me, asked me exactly what is going to happen tomorrow, and I've of course been telling them that it's all classified, top secret information. You know, makes things a little bit more dramatic and mysterious that way. But you think maybe you could sort of explain it to me, just so I can make sure we're on the same page here, you know?
I don't know, you said it best. Classified.
Ah, yes. Well, touche. He starts to look a little bit uncomfortable. He turns towards Lealden, and he notices the cane. That's a very nice looking cane there, my boy.
Thank you. It went with the suit, I thought, and I've always wanted to try using one for finer appearance.
I'd love to have one just like that of my own. Do you mind if I examine it, take a look at it?
I would, but I'm only renting this, and I would hate to lose track of it amidst all this bustle and stuff. It's nothing personal, just...
My dear boy, after all I've done for you, he says. All I ask is just looking for the cane. At this point, before you have a chance to say something, Maelstrom speaks up. I believe if my brother said he'd like to rather keep his hands on his accessory, you should respect it, champion, she says, and he gives him a little bit of a glare. And Kane stares into her eyes as well, and he backs up. All right, I didn't mean any disrespect. Did not mean any disrespect at all. Kane says, all right, well, you all enjoy the rest of the night. Tomorrow's a very busy day, and I would love to tag along, maybe? Tag along, Jody says. Aha.
How do you mean?
Well, he says, I scratched your back, now you can scratch mine. Because you know, you never would have been able to cast this ritual without my help, right?
Sure. Are you saying what I think you're saying?
What do you think I'm saying?
You want to tag along to the past? Or just, witness the ritual?
Oh, so you guys are going back to the past. I see. Alright. I think that actually would be quite some fun. It would be really interesting meeting myself in the past. The things I could say to him.
Yeah, why the hell not?
I'm not
Sure, you can come with us. Someone's gonna lie through his teeth.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. You haven't done that in a while. Roll a deception.
This is true. I have not done this in a while. I am nervous.
Can my character would have, depending on if the lie is convincing or not, be like, what are you saying? Look at him and whatnot. But if you can tell that he's lying to him, he'd be like,
okay.
What are you doing?
The whole party's awkward. It's making me nervous.
Okay.
So what would that be to
determine if Lealden is lying?
Let's see if Delwyn is lying, yes.
I guess I'll allow you to roll a... What have we been using to go against lying? I forgot what the... I guess it would be more of a communication. Perception or communication. Maybe communication. I would say communication, to be able to catch, cues, social, verbal cues, on whether or not she's lying or not.
Can I get like a small bonus for being knowing Delwyn so much and whatnot?
Sure, I'll give you a +1. Sure.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, you can tell that Delwyn is lying through his teeth.
And just like, Indeed.
Well then, all right. So I guess I will see you at the circle and first thing in the morning then.
I'm like, whoa. Well, I believe the ritual can only bring back as many people as we. I mean, us. Not more, not less.
Really?
That's very true. The ritual might not work so well if we try to take too much extra.
Well, that's unfortunately very inconvenient then. Well,
I would just think that at the slightest, I mean, unfortunately, even if Maelstrom wanted to go back in time, Leoden would unfortunately just be against it because he wants things to be what they should be, not mess up time. Because we've already seen what happens when time was messed with the first time around.
mm-hmm.
And
So would Leoden say something to Kane?
Leoden would probably how was progress? He's like, oh, I should go back. I'd probably say, but if you go back with us, then who will stay to be the reigning champion of Kirkwall here in the meanwhile?
Well,
we only know that this will be a one-way trip after all, and it would be a shame to lose out on any more of your future campaign here.
I'm surprised. Only a one-way trip. I thought all of you, especially your scholar friend here, would be powerful enough to cast the ritual a second time. For the good of Thetis, after all. I'm only thinking of everybody's best interests here. Like I always do. He says as he flashes a smile.
As I was trying to say before, the dangers of this spell, this ritual, already cause many unpredictable side effects. If we use this too much, could possibly be catastrophic.
It's best if we only use it as many times as we need, and we only need it once. Smiling, but
Kane frowns as if his favorite toy just got deflated.
Out of character. I love how so much he doesn't seem to realize if it's going to involve time travel, making a blight never happened. He probably won't be ruler anymore. I just love how he's overlooking this so much.
Man dream.
Well, we don't know for certain how it will work until tomorrow, but I will thank you for all your assistance.
Why, thank you, Mr. Guard
Nobody.
person. Yes.
Wow.
Never learned your name.
Never bothered to learn name.
Well then, I guess I will leave you to it then, and I will do my part.
Right. You be the face of this whole operation.
He gives you guys a salute, and he continues hobnobbing with guests.
Once he's out of earshot, I hate that man.
Don't worry, he wasn't really gonna come with us. I was just gonna paralyze him while we jumped through the portal.
I did not know that was going to be your plan, but
That was the plan.
It is at this moment that you guys suddenly hear some commotion going on outside. There are shrieks and shouts and screams. A bunch of the guests don't even notice it at first. A lot of them just continue on with what they're doing. Those that even notice it haven't really quite put two and two together because they're a little too intoxicated to really react to it. Yeah, so you guys hear a commotion. I don't know what you guys do about it at this point.
I'm gonna exchange glances with Jody and the rest of the party. Then I'm gonna nod towards the door.
Yeah.
You
Dylan's
guys
first stop is
make
the
your
wards.
way towards the door, and you see several people are trying to force their way into the estate. A bunch of the guards are trying to keep order, and the only thing you can hear from people is, "Let us in, please! Let us in! We're being attacked! You
What?
hear that she says, the walls have fallen! The Darkspawn, the Archdemon, they're attacking the city!
Holy hell, guards! It's your prerogative to, protect these citizens. Let them the hell in.
And it's the guards have started hearing. This is the first time the guards started hearing this, and a bunch of them don't know how to react to this. Quickly, we must tell the champion. He will be able to save us. And they force their way through.
I'm gonna go up to the nearest guard and grab him by the collar and say, "Let them in now. Get your guards ready."
The guard says, yes, sir." And they let several people in. You can hear faintly the screech of the Archdemon as it echoes through the skies. And if you look out the window, you can already see that there's a glow in the distance, as if there's several fires that have started being putting out in the city. Sanaya says, well, looks like the final battle came to us then. The Archdemon has returned. I have to find my blade, Sanaya says.
Apparently I wasn't too happy with your party without it.
Do I know... I'm guessing no one... Yeah, we know about the Grey Wardens and that they have to take the final...
A Grey Warden has to take the final blow, otherwise it's not going to stop the blade.
We'll, right. You know your duty, Grey Warden. We'll give you an opening.
Several of the citizens have, by the way, rushed into the ballroom, and the word has already spread like wildfire. Everybody starts asking, Champion, quickly, we need your help. The city of Kirkwall is falling. Please. At this point, Kane kind of looks around.
Kane's
like, yes, certainly, he says. It just so happens that I was able to see this coming, and because of that, I was prepared and hired these henchmen to go take care of the Archdemon. Several of the groups turn towards to where he's pointing, and they says, "Oh, well, half of them aren't really buying it. The other half are like, "Oh, champion, how wise of you to do such a thing, for taking such precautions." He says, "Yes. So, off you go. Hired mercenaries and various other men of hire. Go forth and do the city proud." And at that point, Kane turns around and he runs up the stairs into his quarters.
Sick, even now.
I need my arms and armor. Where is the magic circle room thingy? Is it here?
Yeah, it's in this building. It's in this building.
I'm guessing I have my armor and stuff nearby.
So we look.
Yeah, we don't actually have lodgings on the ship anymore, so I imagine all our gear is there.
What do you think we should do? Should we all buckle down here and hope that the Archdemon comes to us, or should we try to split ourselves up and try to go and save as many people as we can in the different districts?
Wow. Okay, this is one of those choices. Like,
yeah.
Save.
You save, the scene in the background just slows. Everything slows down. It's like you need to make a choice. It's like The Walking Dead.
I will give you guys some mercy and end the session here, so you can start thinking about it. Plus,
Is that really mercy?
Because I also want Lealden to chime in and decide.
Yeah.
So you get to decide amongst yourselves how you want to do this. If you're going to split yourselves up to try to save as many citizens as possible, will be able to assign which NPC goes where into different squads if you want to do it that way. And of course, you are welcome to divide yourselves up so you can be in different squads, just managing your group.
PC to NPC squad.
Or if you choose not to save the citizens, if you just want to buckle down here and hope that the Archdemon comes towards you, which you probably are figuring it will, because it's probably trying to stop the ritual from happening, which is probably why he's attacking Kirkwall now, of all times. You can buckle down here and stay together and fight that way. So, I will let you guys ponder on that.
Oh, so much pondering. we will have like 2 weeks of ponder.
Yes, yes, because Dragon Age Inquisition, as of this recording, for those of you who don't know, is coming up this Tuesday. So, yikes. Lots of pondering. I'm anticipating that you only have 2 sessions left, including the next one. So it
It's
should be exciting.
bittersweet.